Hey folks, Corey here. Happy New Year's. Well, it's been a while since I posted a video. It's been too busy over the holidays to do anything, but I'm finally back out on the shop. I'm going to work on my Xbox, so this will be part 2 of probably 3, depending on how things go. Show you what I'm up to tonight. Made it into the city. Got some material to do, try to get the fan mounted in the top. It's called styrene, polystyrene. This stuff is on the model railroad section in the hobby store, and it's just some sheets, a couple different thicknesses. I've got this, which is 80 thou thick, or I think I consider it 2 millimeter. Yeah, 2 millimeter. And this is just an assortment. It's got 3 different sheets in it of different thicknesses. So hopefully between the two and some model glue. It's actually glue that melts I guess you could say melts the plastic and bonds it together. Anybody that's done plastic models knows of it. Hopefully that stuff will work good and will work with the plastic that the case is made out of. So I'm going to see if I can figure out what I'm going to do, and I'll show you. Well, I've been sitting here for a few minutes trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, and 2 options I have, which both start with the same kind of build with styrene, is build a shallow box that's really only a little bit higher than the fan. It'll be trimmed to cut, and so the fan sits in the box and mounts in, and then on the end of the box it's obviously cut open so that the air can flow through. And I'm just trying to decide if the box should come up and out so it gives kind of a finished look with the plastic, and it kind of covers up the frame of the fan a little bit. That wouldn't really cover up that much, to be honest. You'd still see the black fan. Or the other option is to mount it so the box sits in, so the fan drops into the box and mounts, so you see the frame and whatnot around it. Now, the other thing I was thinking is this styrene, probably hard to tell from the video, but it's quite a bit lighter, obviously, than the Xbox. The Xbox is a bit of a beige color. So I'd have to, if the box was on the outside, I'd have to match the color by painting the Xbox. And I'm not really a big fan of painting, and never looks that good. So I think I'll build the box and have it sit into the hole. So let's get working on it. So here's what I'm thinking so far. I've got the base plate cut and screwed on. I didn't drill the hole yet. I'm not going to bother drilling that till the end. So now what I need to do is cut some of the same sheet to make 4 sides. I'll make it a little higher than what it needs to be. And I'll just apply the glue along this edge and glue them on. Got a feeling I'm going to glue the fan on too, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And then once that glue sets up, I can pop the fan out, cut this hole, and mount the whole box into here in such a fashion that it'll fit. Only other thing I'll have to do is take this wire, bring it through, and once the sides are on, I can cut a hole here so the wire comes out and into the Xbox for its 12-volt hookup. Let's get the next pieces cut. Well, I got the box built and the fan mounted in it, and it's kind of sitting in there. I tried to run a bit of glue on both sides, but there's really not enough surface area there to catch, so a bit of an engineering flaw on my part. But I think what I'll do is I'll cut some strips, even make it triangular, or so it matches up. So this has an edge that sits down. I'll add an extra strip here, there, and then on the back side too, and that'll give some gluing surface to hold that box in place. And I think what I'll probably end up doing is blending it all in with some filler, and even though I didn't really want to paint the case, I'll probably paint it up so everything looks a little bit better. So I'll cut those filler strips and get them glued on, and hopefully that'll do the trick. Let's give her a try. Well, I made some headway, but I hit a little bit of an engineering snag. I guess that's what happened. It's when you engineer on the fly. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. First, you can see it's not pretty, but I've done a bunch of styrene work, glued some extra pieces on here to to allow it to duct in, push the air through the heat sinks a little better. I'm hoping it works out. We'll have to see. I also cut this edge here back so it'll fit because of my fan mon where I turn the fan around, but don't want to do too much with that right now because the glue needs to dry. But the problem I run into, I'm not sure why, it's probably because I used the old Xbox right here, maybe as a bit of a template, instead of the newer one here that I'm trying to make work. Now, you can see this heatsink and this heatsink are different. There's quite a bit more of a gap there. And with that, the problem that causes, let me just move over here in the light. That's what I get for just doing it on the fly without double checking things, but yeah, that's the way she goes. You can probably already figure out what the problem. You look at that heatsink, how far out it comes. And you take the box I made for the fan. It's supposed to sit down in here. It hits the heatsink quite quickly, so I can't get that box down as far as I'd like. The front end's no problem. It would tilt in there the way it needs to, as planned, but the rear doesn't drop down as far. So a couple options I have is I can just have this box sticking out further than originally anticipating, but then that means I've got a big gap that back here that I have to fill, which I don't know, maybe I could glue a strip all the way around here or do something, but it would look, I don't know, I don't think it would look that great. The other option I was thinking of doing, since I'm adding some airflow to it, I was actually thinking of taking this heatsink and beveling it back so that this box can sit down a little better. Now obviously I'll lose a little bit of surface area for the heatsink, but I think it would probably still work out okay. If I take the drive out, you can probably see what I'm talking about. If you look in there, hopefully this camera will pick it up. There you can see the box hits, so wouldn't have to bevel it too much, and then this would drop into place, and the would all work out as I had anticipated. So I'm thinking that's what I'll do. Pull that heatsink off and just take it to the belt sander over there and bevel it back and see if I can wreck this thing even more than I have already. Well, there's what you get after some cutting and sanding and polishing. Use the wire brush to make sure to try to get all the little particles out, and she's still warm, hence the glove. And it doesn't matter that I had to take it off because I've got some Arctic Silver that I want to put on there for heatsink compound anyways, so make sure that's kind of sitting where it needs to go. Drop this cover back on. Get rid of the glove too. Get this lined up where it needs to go as well. Voila. Now we'll take the box and see what we get. Look at that. Ta-da! It fits. And you can see there's might be touching a hair, but it doesn't matter because I'll be cutting most of this out once the glue all sets up to allow the fan to pull the air out anyway. So I think I'm going to shut her down for the night shortly. Just going to cut a piece for the back here as well to give a ledge, and then put some fresh glue on it and let it all set up for the night. And then obviously there's going to be some more footage. If all goes well, I'll probably be out here working again tomorrow evening, so that'll be part 3 or maybe part 2.5, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll call it part 2.5 and part 3 will be the actual finishing up the wiring and that. So till then, talk to you later.